Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks for the 1st of June, and we're going to be covering, as we do on Mondays from here on in, Alphabet, Netflix and NVIDIA. So with Alphabet here, we are looking for wave 4 here. We're looking at coming up into this impulse wave for wave 1, which will take us close to these highs here, and then wave 2, 3, 4 and 5. So our job today really is to have a look at this particular structure here. So let's move in and have a look at that. So on the daily chart, we're on the weekly chart there. So on the daily chart, I'm looking at it a bit like this. So we still need to move up to the 1500 area here and cover that gap and so on. So we're still moving to the upside here on that. So we'll move in and look at this further. So on the 4-hour chart, we're counting it up here in minor wave 1 and 2 here. And then we're going from minor wave 2 all the way up here for wave 3 and then back for wave 4 here. So within wave 2 to wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves. So of blue waves here, so we've got 1 and 2 here and 3 here and wave 4 here. And wave 4 can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree or the 38.2% retracement level, but it hasn't been doing that. In this one here, it never pulled back to its 38.2% here. In this particular instance here, if we take, where are we here, roughly to the top here, the 38.2% comes back at this, well, close, just higher than this wave 4 here. So it's still a way off from that. It looks like it wants to continue to the upside here. So that's okay. We just got to buy new highs in that instance. So we're going to go to the tick chart now, 100 ticks. So in terms of 100 ticks here, let me just pull this back in to get some perspective. So wave 1 and 2 from the low here, and 1 and 2 here, and then we're going up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and 3, the third of the third wave here, the one that all Elliott traders look for, where it gaps and pushes up strongly. But from wave 2 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 3, back for wave 4 here, and then pushing up for wave 5. So in this wave 5 here, we're looking for, let me just push this over here and this to here, and I might just go to the 20 tick here. I just want to recount this here a little bit. Let me just, I mean, this is where we should be looking for this here, but it just doesn't want to go down unless there's another little high in here. Certainly we're pushing up higher. It's just how far do we pull back? So I'm just going from 100 ticks down to 20 ticks to just drill in and just have a little look here for this. So first of all, from this wave, blue wave 3 high here, I can see that we've got an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I know that we've got a corrective wave here. So I know that we're going to be taking this top out here. The question is do we do that, or do we look at this as the A wave here, the B wave here? It doesn't look, if that spike is anything to do with it, then that appears to be 3 waves up here. That would leave this as wave 1 and 2 here, 3, 4 and 5 coming down here for this wave C here. It probably won't come down that far because realistically we've been seeing well, the fingerprint is the wave 4 being a bit short. But what I just wanted to have a look at, I just wanted to go back over and have a look at this here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, and yeah, it's okay. I mean, I can count 5 in the first wave here, and I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here for 3 and 4, and 4 may even be here most likely. Not that it's a big deal. So I'll just have to call that high in there, even though there's a gap there. So that's the thing, yeah. So we could be, I mean, technically we should be looking at this down through here. Not that it matters that much with stock trading because, well, I suppose this is the thing, everybody's doing something different. You can give people the same amount of money, the same trades, exactly the entries, exactly the stops, and they'll all have different results because of their money management. So in the bigger picture, you know, for trend trading, the pullback here it doesn't really matter, you know. But if you're, you know, if you're close to the market, well, then it matters, you know. So it's a bit tricky to cover everybody's thing. But what we could say here is that if this top here is breached, then you can trade up to the 1500 at that point. If not, then it pulls back here and then it moves up. And I suggest that if it does pull back here, if that is the case, then if it trades below the closest largest number, which is this one here, and we would, these are, just put some levels in here. That's, I'll just put the first level in. That's, yeah, just the first sub level there. But if it trades below the 1400 and then later on gets support back up here again, and I mean support that it sits on the level, and you take the first high, you can drop it down to the second high, you can drop it down to the third high here until you get in, you draw a line across it. You can do whatever you need to do, but the main point is you need to recognize in your own way that that 1400 is the support. So if it trades below the 1400, then goes back up there, then you can head up that way. If it doesn't do that, well, then you just need to buy the high here, and you can add on top of 50 once the midpoint here. So between 400 and 500, we're looking for the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, and this is 72 and 65. Just something, a little addition to the situation. That's the trading levels there, and for some reason it's not showing up there because we've got 2 on there. So obviously we need to put that up there somewhere. That can go, so the first level above the 1500 is 10, 20, and 30, which make up group 1, and this can go to the 72 here. Oops. So it's near enough is good enough, as we say in Australia. Yeah, so that's that. So just recapping this market here. Can we do that on the 4-hour chart? So with Google here, Alphabet A shares here, we're looking for a move higher here. However, it could move back here, but at the same time, you don't want to miss the bus, so you need to go up from that point. Let's save that, and let's move on to Netflix. Give me a second to find that in my list. Here we go. So with Netflix here, let's just go back to the daily chart here. So with the daily chart here, we're looking for wave 1 and 2 here, and then we're looking for up for wave 3 here. Last time we spoke, we were looking for wave 1 here, 2 here, and this is 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 here for the third wave. I could bring that in there, make it pretty, and we're looking for wave 4 to pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So it's done that, and clear this junk up here, and now we're looking for a move higher. We have to be mindful that it all looks pretty simple. You can buy here, sell here, but life's not like that in the markets. A lot of the time it gets a bit tricky. But first of all, wave 4 could get a bit more complicated. What do I mean by that? Well, we can get an A and a B and a C out of this down here, but this could pull back up 50-60% and then have another move down and then move up from that point. It can do that, or it could just move straight up from this point. I don't know. So need a little bit of tactics. So I'm just going to go straight to the tick chart from here. oops, this is 20 ticks, so I want to go to 100 ticks just to so anyway, we're looking from wave 3 to wave 4. So what I'm a little bit concerned about is that from this low here, that the, move this, that's the 61.8% retracement level there. So we may get, whoops a daisy, so that can just be the A wave here, a B wave here, and then a C, excuse me, a C wave here. So that's a possibility here. So we need to be mindful of that. The other point here, though, the good news, the good news is that we have an impulse wave here. So that means that after a correction, still got that stuck on there. So many clicks and buttons to press, isn't it? The old internet, it's all about clicking. So we can look at this as an impulse wave. So 1, 2, it could also be an A and a B and a C wave to here. Right, so just be mindful of that. This next move up here can be 1 and 2 and then move up for 3. That's what that's sitting there for, but I might just remove that over here for a moment. We don't need that. If you're going to go long here, then first of all, 400 here is a medium level. That's why it's in grey. And then we've got minor levels here, 1, 2, and 3. We know if we get a nice tested support on top of 3, that will take us up to 5 at that point. So we can expect the market from this point here and the 3 and the ratio of 61.8 for the market to vibrate here a little bit. So in a nutshell, you really want to make sure that it's a nice support at that level there. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, a little bit of an A, B, C pattern here, and then we can go from that point there. You can add to the position there. So I suggest that if you're going to go long here, this would be the place to do it at here. And you could do it sitting, you could look for this pattern here on this number 20 here, number 2 here. So we had the arrival, the reaction, the first side, blah, 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 sitting on the level here. You can go get in a little bit earlier there. Whichever way you go, you'll still need to leave the stop under here somewhere. All right, that will get you up to the 30 here, 430. So you can either take profit at that point or take part profit and look to get back in over this side. Yeah, I'd just be careful around this area here. I would certainly protect yourself. So definitely take something off the table there. So let's just put that in here as a percentage. You can't afford to have a winning trade then a losing trade. It's just not good behavior. So do whatever you need to do at that point. I'm going to leave it at that for the time being, and I'm just going to save that. And I forgot, I must have lost the plot. We're talking about Netflix here, but I thought we were looking at NVIDIA, so I'm going to look at NVIDIA now. It's kind of got the same thing as Netflix actually, but let's go to the bigger picture here first. So the daily picture here, nice bullish market. We're at this orange line here, which is a major trading level, and it's the same thing again. It's not complicated. So it's 100, 2, 3, and the next one up here would be 500 here. So Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and the medium levels are always halfway between. So that's why this one's halfway between 3 and 5, and this one here you could pop in here. Now they're really handy because it is a bit of a game of support and resistance, because if the market's going to turn, it's going to do it at support and resistance. So if the medium level here becomes the support, well, then we can trade in long here. And this is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC here. So you can go long above here. You can go long above this one. You may have even gotten in earlier here. That's another story, but here. So with Elliott Wave, and the trading, all the trading levels do is operate in the background, and they strengthen your trade setups. Not only that, it draws your attention to the actual price, and when it draws your attention to the price, you'll learn more about the price, because every single digit is a character and carries a certain weight in a certain situation, and the more that you know about that, the better off you're going to be for placing moving stops, targets, other support and resistance in between these. These are just major levels, medium levels, then we go down to minor levels, sub levels, and micro levels. So no matter what you trade, and it just reverts back to, yes, there is geometry into it, because we're using these as a price ratio, Fibonacci price ratio, but also too, it brings in the volume aspect as well, or the psychology of the market as well, because people think in certain numbers and so on. So we can see that behavior build up around the price levels. Anyway, from here, we're looking at wave 2 here, going up into wave 3. So we'll be looking up at 400 here for this, and for the next level anyway. Between 300 and 400, we've got the Fibonacci numbers again, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8 here. So they're minor levels, so we can bring those into the fold. So I'm going to go straight to the chart here. And check this out. So I'm just going to scrunch it up a little bit. So just bear with me so we can, let's bring in some data here. So this is what I've been working on here. So I've gone through here. I think I've actually changed this here, but anyway, I've got wave 1 here and 2 here. We can run through this. Bring that there so you know what I'm talking about. So from wave 2 here, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for wave 1 in blue. So between 2 here and 3 up here, this 3 up here, the orange 3, we want to get 5 waves in here of blue. So the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the first blue, and the second blue here. And then we're looking up for the third blue, which I've got just here. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. I have a little bit of a problem with this here. If anybody's got any time, they need to count all these little waves in here to see if this is the blue wave 3 up here, or just the green wave 3. So I've got blue wave 4 here and green here. In green here, it does overlap wave 1 here. So that is why I've gone for the blue here, but just didn't get quite enough time to pull all this apart here. Anyway, in terms of making money, we can look at this here as the ABC pattern here for wave 4. And I can see that this has still got further to move up here. We're above the 61.8% mark, so that's kind of nice. 61.8 here, so we've reacted to the 61 point here, 62% here already, and now we're looking above that here. So that's good news for developing the trend further to the upside here. So that's what we're looking at this stage. Through here, and copy that, and through here. Some of the, I can't draw past the price on a tick chart, and some of the trend lines I can't move past. Some of them I can do this one, I think, which is this one. Yeah, that's a bit better there. So a wave 3 here, if this is wave 4, we've got wave 1 ABC for wave 2 here, then we've got wave 1 and, well, probably an A and a B and a C to here for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 building up here. But this wave 3 here, that should move through the should move up through this top channel here. What if that happens, then you know you're in a wave 3 at that point, you know. So moving up through the levels here, we've got 1, 2, and 3 here. And now we're at the midpoint here, and then we've got group 2 here. Group 2, 65, 72, and 80 held the market last time. So there's still going to be a bit of a struggle through all of this, but we're looking for wave 3 to come in. I mean, wave 3 normally comes in at the old highs here, but it might leave it a little bit short. I'll bring this back down here a tad. And then this one here, here, and here. So that's where we're sort of heading at this point. So this is valid while this is, you can go long through here. This is valid here while that low stays in place. That can just go over there now, so. As long as that low state, you could probably bring it a bit higher, but we haven't actually got support on 50 yet, which is important. So there can be some jiggling around, but that low needs to stay in place. You could even move to that low there for that. Alrighty, that's it. Just to recap this here on the daily chart, perhaps. Do I have a 4-hour for this? I'll just check. I don't think I do just yet for this. Oh yeah, I do. Alrighty, so yeah. Okay, that's cool, just checking. Yeah, that's my count, sorry. So it's a 4-hour chart. So we're looking for this, yeah, no change here, just looking for a move up into this space here, and you can go long now and put a stop under there for that. So all good. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in and thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. Cheers.